Oh, the stupid pink shirt who told you to wear the little girl next to gel in your hair. Like a famous pretender on a fake magazine, you trade your self-respect for your self-esteem. You rape your self-esteem. It's the same old shit again.
Hi, this is Metcalf's pizza dough, and I have 1.5 cups of milk, scalded. I have 1.5 cups of water, warm, and 6 tablespoons of shortening in this bowl. And I'm now about to add 6 tablespoons of sugar. That's so the yeast has something to eat because they like the sweets. Yum. A lot of people like to use olive oil in their bread dough for their pizza, or pizza dough, whichever one you want to call it, but it can be used for either. But I always use butter flavored Crisco because it makes the crust taste so much better. Now we're going to add 3 packages of yeast. This is for a triple batch. But these things are actually alive. They gotta be. If they're not, then they won't proof your bread. And proofing is just when you double in size. They grow and they burp and they fart and they do all nasty things inside your bread. You have no idea. They're very nasty little creatures. Here we go. They're in there eating as we speak. That's what this foamy stuff on the side's doing. Okay. And we will be back with you in 10 minutes. The bread dough is looking kind of funky right now, just liquid, because the yeast is all done proofing. Now, you add the salt. Because if you add the salt too soon, you end up with yeast that don't proof too well because it doesn't like to eat on salt. Salt kind of slows the eating process down just a little bit. Here we're going to add 3.5 tablespoons of salt. Oh, teaspoons. Sorry about that. 3 teaspoons make a tablespoon. Here's 1. Your bread dough would be very, very salty if you add 3.5 tablespoons. Or your pizza. Not taste too good. To my husband it would. He'd put a whole thing of these on 1 bag of popcorn. Given a chance. Anyway, stir that in. Now, I need 3 eggs. Okay, now I am partially beating the eggs up so that when I add it to the yeast mixture, it's easier to mix in. So 3 partially beaten eggs. Now here comes the fun part. My recipe calls for 3 to 4 cups of flour per batch. This is a triple batch, like I said. So I add 9 cups to start with, and we see how the bread's doing at that time because the humidity, the air, the weather, that all depends on how much flour it actually eats. So if you start with 9 and then you add up to 12, you're safe. Now we have 3 cups to play with. We can either add it, or when we need it, we can use it then. But this is the part where it's fun. You stir and you stir and you stir and you stir until it gets so hard to stir it anymore. You just de-bling, take off all your rings on whatever hand you like to mix with the best, and you go for it. You just put your hand in there and you just start mixing. Now see, 9 cups, and it's still pretty wet. So you take your flour, you either measure out a cup, or you do what I usually do, and you just add a little. Approximately a cup, because like I said, you got 3 cups to play with, depending on how wet it is. There we go. Now it's starting to come together better. Blinging a little flour on the area you're going to be working, and then you spread out your dough onto the table. Oh, look at that. That's looking so pretty. Get what flour you can out of the bowl. Then you start playing with it. And all you do to knead is use the palm of your hand, push out. Fold, palm of your hand, push out. You're getting rid of some of the gas bubbles. Sometimes you actually hear them fart. Nasty little buggers. But what you're doing is you're trying to get your bread dough all set for its first rising.
It's the same.